Elon Musk for what value he brought when he bought Twitter and the value Twitter currently stands at the moment. Year 2023, if you were to sum it up for Elon Musk, Karthik, how would you? Maybe in a line or quick few words.
In a line, I would just call it absolute chaos, absolute volatility and absolute confusion on what Twitter was, what X is and what Elon Musk in the realm of social media stands for.
All right. And Krishna, you know, volatility, of course, a chaos that is unabated. We don't know about what's going to happen at Twitter. Of course, Elon Musk has a variety of ideas. He is hoping to turn the fortunes around for Twitter, but we do know that the valuation has tanked dramatically.
Yes, the main problem and the culprit in all of these things is the fact that there's something called as advertising revenues, which Twitter used to have, which X has almost ceased to have. So we all know how he feels about advertisers. Even after all that's happened, advertisers have collectively deserted X as a platform, and Elon Musk at the end of the year made his intentions clear, using the F word as to what he doesn't have to give, Fs he doesn't have to give when it comes to advertisers and their attitude towards X as a platform. The question here is that, was that just bluster, or does he have actual plans to find ways for X to make money in the year 2024?
All right, so we don't know whether he's going to make money in 2024. That it will be a realm of speculation. But let's take a look at step by step how the year has been for Elon Musk. Now, he bought Twitter last year. Since then, a lot has changed by the way of management, the policy initiatives, and the advertising business. As Krishna pointed to, advertising revenues have dwindled on the back of the fact that big corporates have decided not to back Elon Musk. Hasn't turned out really well for him, Karthik.
So, Shweta, I mean, with Elon Musk, you don't even know actually where to begin. But I think if we were to put a definite start point to this whole change of guard, change of ownership at Twitter, it all began in October 2022. We are at the end of 2023 right now. So the troubles that began in Twitter the vintage is more than a year now. And remember those visuals initially of Elon Musk walking in with that wash basin into the office of Twitter and pretty much signaling that it's cleanup time. What he wanted to clean up, apart from revenues, apart from ad revenue, we don't know. But that is something that he's completely wiped out. But it all started with, that typical Elon Musk style, not giving an F like Krishna said, which in fact Elon Musk said, and coming in with that wash basin and telling employees that changes are going to happen at Twitter. And look at the changes that happened. Immediately, I think in the first week or so of Elon Musk taking over, about 30% of the workforce was wiped off.
Left, right, center.
So that was the first sort of, first set of items in his to-do list going into the drain of that wash basin. Now, cut to another month or so later, that number goes up to about 50% of the workforce gone. In fact, almost the entire Twitter India team was also dismantled.
The public policy team particularly.
Exactly. Right. Now, what was Elon Musk really trying to do? I think Elon Musk did not want to be dependent on ad revenue to begin with. So one of the early stage interventions that he made in a fairly decent, doing great valued company called Twitter was that he said the blue tick, which is supposed to be a tick of authenticity, or which was supposed to be a tick of somebody who brings real authentic value to the platform, he did away with that. So anybody could now, after Elon Musk's new policies at Twitter, buy that blue tick for as little as $8 a month. And with that little investment of $8 a month, your reach could be expanded to millions of people out there. Minus the blue tick, your reach got curtailed. With the blue tick that you paid for, whether you were an authority on the subject that you are writing, tweeting on or not, notwithstanding, you could reach to millions of people with just one little 280 character post. Now that became a tool for misinformation, because what Mr. Musk had also done in the process was, in all the people that he fired and got rid of, a good component of that was the fact check team at Twitter. So the fact check team was done away with. Anybody with a blue tick could reach millions of people. Ad revenue was slowly giving way to subscription driven revenue. Not that too many people subscribed to it, but there were many who did, and eventually that led to, which we saw during the end of the year, October 1st week to November mid onwards, we saw that this blue tick and this irrational reach was a tool for spreading misinformation in the context of the Israel-Hamas war. Now, linked to this were also Twitter and Elon Musk's own anti-Semitic posts and tweets, which in any case further riled the advertisers. And these advertisers are big money spenders, include the likes of Disney, for example, right? So all of these guys decided that we are not going to advertise on Twitter. And Twitter's revenues through the whole year, and Twitter in the interim had become X, Twitter's revenue, which were in any case pretty low, it was a $4 billion profit revenue making company, ad revenues of $4 billion. He bought Twitter for $44 billion, which was 11x of the top line of the company. I mean, I think the basic thumb rule is about 4x of revenue. He bought it for 11x of revenue. Those revenues stand to under $1 billion. So, in any case, the question started arising, did he overpay for Twitter? Did he do obviously all the foolhardy things of getting rid of people, especially the fact check team? Did he put too much emphasis on the blue tick subscription driven revenue and letting ad revenue take a back seat? And all of that has left this big dark X and a question mark on X that, what is your source of revenue? And the answer to that is X. You don't know. So can somebody solve X for Elon Musk? I think 2024 should be that year where the value of X really comes out.
One thing for sure, by the end of 2023, you had enough and more people who just didn't want to call the platform X because they were so unhappy with all the changes that Elon Musk brought to the platform that they were ashamed, or they were just like, saying the fact that I will not call this X anymore. This remains Twitter as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, Twitter has such a great recall value. It became a noun. To tweet became a noun, and Twitter itself became a household name.
You can't X it anymore.
Change that to
you can
X.
tweet something. You can X something.
So to add to that, apart from the whole boom of disinformation and misinformation that Twitter led in the public space with respect to Twitter, there were changes in the management. Linda Yaccarino was also brought in to manage day-to-day affairs. We don't know if she's still managing from the back seat or from the driver's seat.
I mean, we know who the puppet master
but
is,
we don't
right?
know. We know who the puppet master is. But to add to that, I think it's also important to point out the whole change, rebranding from Twitter to X, solely to make it a super app. The dream was to make it a super app, an app through which you can do it all. You can make it a payments app, you can perhaps use it to converse with one another, an audio call or a video call, or a platform to do it all. Now that dream also, Krishna, remains a little far-fetched at the moment.
Right, and talking about payments, their payments themselves went down after wanted to make it a payment platform. Not enough payments coming into Twitter in the form of revenues and advertising revenue. The super app plan is, to me right now, a moonshot at this stage, because right now X has a credibility issue. It has to find ways to regain some of the credibility it has lost in recent times. Questions on its fact-checking ability, questions on its ability to stop misinformation, questions on its ability to stop any kind of problems that people, its users, can eventually end with. So to me, 2024 will be a year in which Elon Musk first has to regain all the goodwill that Twitter had that X doesn't have, and then even think about making it into a super app.
Okay, so before we wrap this up, I want to know what should be the priority. I mean, I'm sure lots of people who want to suggest Elon Musk what to do. But given that the revenues are dwindling, a valuation is down to $14 billion from $44 billion, what should be priority areas for Twitter and for Elon Musk?
So, Shweta, I think it's easy for us to sit here on a couch and give advice to somebody like Elon Musk. But I think just as a student of economics and as a student of business communications, business studies, I think one very obvious idea that comes to mind is purely, looking at how Twitter has been run, or X has been run for the last 1.5 years or so. I think the very simple fundamental objective right now needs to be for Elon Musk, the owner of X, to take a back seat, at least for a while, become a little hands-off. You really don't need to have that eureka moment every day. You really don't need to call every single shot on the platform. You have a professional CEO. Let the professional CEO be given at least a couple of months of time, maybe more, maybe about 6 months to 9 months of time, with zero intervention from Elon Musk, and let the professional CEO do the job of running the company. Now, what would the CEO strategy be? I think a lot will have to eventually depend on the fact that it is election year, and it is election year in the largest two democracies of the world, which is US and India. Even if you were to keep India aside right now, because India contribution to X's total business would be negligible, if any, right now. Even if they were to focus on US as a market right now, at least as a revenue deriving market, then let the professional CEO do the job of, number one, making sure that there is some sort of a fact check in place, that US elections 2024 do not become deepfake elections, do not become AI generated misinformation, disinformation elections. So I think by way of doing that, there is going to be some regaining of trust back in the platform. Once you begin with trust, I think some source of revenue is going to follow.
Absolutely.
To my mind, it would have to be ad revenue, because the blue tick, paid blue tick strategy, $8 a month, reduce it to $1 a month, annual plan discounted, all of that is great for a
Not paying
Netflix.
back.
All of that is great for an OTT platform. It's wonderful for any entertainment avenue. But at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, Twitter has pretty much become a source of news. It is a platform where people post news.
So there has to be
and
more
the
credibility to the
authenticity
platform.
of news should be maintained. And the fact that Elon Musk is involved day to day doesn't let the professionals do their job. So my limited, I wouldn't call it advice, but my limited understanding from a huge distance of how things are happening globally and especially at X right now would be that Elon Musk should perhaps concentrate more on Tesla, should look at Tesla's entry into India perhaps as
Considering the
priority,
fact that,
and
right at the fag end of the year, Tesla had to recall over 2 million vehicles in the
Yeah.
US, nearly all of its vehicles in the US, because of a faulty autopilot system. So, I mean, clearly he has to figure out where to focus his energies upon and prioritize as far as the year 2024 is
All right,
concerned.
so I think prioritize, and that is the message that Elon Musk will have to ride on as far as the upcoming year is concerned. Also take a backseat perhaps when it comes to Twitter, and maybe drive that drive that Tesla car and ensure that the focus remains on Tesla.